Hello again, YouTube. So it's 4:01 p.m. Still January 20th, 2022. And the last video cut off just a wee bit before I got to the post office. And surprise, surprise, I actually was out of space. And in hindsight, I realize I did that to myself. I know when I do a video walking to the post office, it's going to be a long one. It's always going to be a long one. That's a pretty long walk. And for whatever reason, when I started that video, right now I've got my default resolution for shooting video on my iPhone at, I've got my default, okay. I'm in what should be designated as, or what should be considered an unmarked crosswalk. That guy didn't slow down at all. These people see me trying to cross. Are they going to slow down? Nope, not in the slightest. Thanks, assholes. All right. So, anyway, I've got my default resolution on my iPhone set at 720p, just to give myself more space for shooting video, which has been really helpful. But on that last one, I was thinking, well, you know what? It's daytime, and I'm shooting horizontal video. It'd be nice to get a higher resolution in. Nice to be able to see a little more detail in this one. And I manually kicked it up to 1080p, which I do on occasion. I don't know if anybody notices that sort of thing, but I do that on occasion. And yeah, that was an occasion I really shouldn't have, because I knew that was going to be probably about a 30-minute damn video. And 30 minutes at 1080p equals I run out of space. So I'm shooting on the NUU Obama phone, which this one here, I'm still able to make calls and texts on it. I'm completely out of data. I really don't know when the data renews. Speaking of my phones, and I was wrong about it being 30 minutes until another bus was going to show up here on Van Buren. I checked as soon as I was on my way out of the post office. I checked the transit app, and it shows the next one coming at 4:11. So it's 4:04 p.m. now. So it won't be too terribly long, theoretically. Another 5 minutes. So I should probably get my dang mask on. Moving my bag. And also the good news on that is, looking in the app, I was able to see the GPS position of the that bus, the one that's supposed to be here at 4:11, and it's currently staged and sitting at its start point, which is the Phoenix Zoo. Phoenix Zoo, about a mile straight ahead of me. About a mile ahead of me, up on the left. And so at this point I'm just crossing my fingers that the driver actually leaves on time. For a while I seem to be having quite a bit of problem with that, particularly on this route, but I'll be honest, I haven't noticed much of that lately. The drivers that are working do seem to be making the effort to actually leave their start points at the time they're supposed to leave their start points. So that's definitely a good thing in my book. Although there was a point yesterday where I was looking at the bus leading, where it was the Indian school bus, where it was leaving its start point. So I'm trying to get my goddamn boom. I'm trying to get my jacket off. It is pretty warm out today. I'm trying to get my jacket off because obviously as soon as the sun goes down, it's going to be cold. I wore kind of a warm long sleeve shirt, so getting hot and sweaty. Gotta take care of that. Just off and upright so I don't lose shit out in my pocket. Oh, things that are so difficult when you're a pedestrian that they're so much easier in a car. So if I was in a car, I wouldn't even worry about the goddamn thing. It would just be sitting in the car somewhere for when it gets cold and I need it. Anyway, there was a situation last night, and I believe I touched on it in my last video. My last video I shot yesterday, where in my next to last video I shot yesterday was where I walked from the Amazon warehouse I'm going to be working at to the Desert Sky Park and Ride, which is serviced exclusively by the I-10 Rapid bus. And a lot of people making a U-turn right there. I wonder what's up with that. These people driving and don't know where the fuck they're going. So anyway, yeah, it serves that route. That park and ride is serviced exclusively by the I-10 Rapid. That's quite a facility. I mean, go back, take a look at that video. It's quite a facility as far as the waiting area and the restrooms and the banners showing bus route information and the big decorative made out of metal, looks like a giant radio bus stop, and covered parking, and it's a pretty impressive facility to only be serviced by one route that only shows up. I think it only picks up there 5 times a day, if memory serves. So it's kind of weird how, you know, it's. I've mentioned a couple times how I feel there's some definite classism in the way Phoenix handles their transit, and that's a pretty prime example. Because the people that ride that are middle class white people. They're more up. They're better quality people, and they're white people, and whereas the people that ride these local routes, they're scummy bus people. So yeah, not nearly as nice facilities for stops like this. And to be honest, this is way nicer than average bus stop. But yeah, none of those kind of nice facilities for stops like this that are serviced, you know, from roughly 4:30 in the morning until about 11:30 at night, you know, all day long with numerous buses stopping. But yeah, let's make this super nice facility for a bus that, for one route that only picks up 5 times a day during a short window in the morning. But, yeah, I can't wait to shoot some video since I'm going to be riding that bus home on Monday to give you all some perspective of just how much nicer quality buses are used for those routes versus for these street routes. But you know, again, there's definite. I don't want to say racism, although you'd have to be oblivious to not notice that there's a lot more dark-skinned people on the local routes, and on the rapid buses, a lot more light-skinned people. You'd have to be oblivious to not notice that. But I don't think it's deliberate racism as much as it is. It's classism. No matter how you slice it, it's classism. You ride that route, we deem you to be a more worthy kind of people, so more worthy kind of person. So we're going to provide you with a nicer facility to pick up at, you know, to be picked up at and to park your car at, and a nicer quality bus to ride on. Yeah, looking forward to you know, riding how the other half rides on Monday. Anyway, sorry, I got all sidetracked thinking about just how nice that bus stop is that, of course, I couldn't wait at. Now, there was a bus stop, and I think my video ended at it, outside the park and ride, which I guess technically that parking could be used to ride that bus as well. That's fair. And I ended my video pretty much as soon as I got there. But, and I sat there, I want to say maybe 10, 15 minutes, and was chatting with my daughter. And then when the bus finally came, which, you know, 15 minutes, that was a reasonable time to wait. No problem with that. But the bus did not even slow down for me. Didn't even slow down. I was sitting at the bus stop. I wasn't up and dancing and doing the funky chicken, but you know, I don't think it's unreasonable that a person sitting at a bus stop should be able to look at their phone and a conversation on their phone, and to look at and to maybe be reading a book while they're waiting. You know, they shouldn't have to be so painstakingly staring at the road so they can jump up and do a happy dance for the bus driver to stop at that stop. It's the bus driver's job to stop at that stop. If there's somebody seated there. Now, if that somebody seated there isn't getting on the bus and they're just loitering, that's another problem entirely. And it's someone that I think that the city and the bus Valley Metro need to work on together. But to penalize the people that are actually legitimately waiting for the bus, for the behavior of the people that are loitering at the bus stops, is grossly unfair. And then also, as I pointed out, I'm marginally visually impaired, but imagine I'm completely blind. Hello, that bus. Somebody who is visually impaired to the point they can't drive, they probably need that bus to stop there so they can hear it. Even if they are standing up and they're looking down the road on a dark street, and McDowell is very dark on that stretch right there. And traffic on that road is going at about 50 miles per hour, maybe more. I don't know how fast the bus was going when it passed, but it was doing, I would say it was doing at least 45, maybe 50. Yeah, can't see that bus coming. Anyway, I can see this bus coming, so I'm going to end this right here. And next stop, Packing Store.